I so appreciate your support.
I just love you, man, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm not going to be a stranger.
Listen to his show. Absolutely, 95.5.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together?
Shelley Winter Show.
Tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together?
Live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. So I told you at the start of the show, was it the start of the show? Yes, the start of the show. If you're just joining us, I started the show off talking about, don't forget, this Thursday we're airing live at 9 o'clock President Trump's speech to the nation that he's going to give Thursday night around at 9 o'clock. So I'll be on the air from 7 to 9, regular time. We'll air the full speech live, and then I'll come on right after the speech and be on till 11. That's this Thursday. So I started the show talking about that, and there's reporting that President Trump's going to talk about 2020 elections and all of this stuff. And I basically, my opinion around that is that nobody cares, right? That's how I started the show. So now, this segment of the show, I'm going to say the same thing to civil rights leaders. Let me tell you why. It's the same reason. Both groups are doing something that nobody cares about. No one's threatened by. Here's the headline. Civil rights leaders announce march on Washington to defend voting rights. Civil rights leaders announced plans on Tuesday for a Washington march to defend voting rights, saying recent court decisions have weakened key federal protections against racial discrimination in voting. The coalition, led by Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network and joined by Martin Luther King III, Andrea Waters King, and labor and civil rights groups, will host the March on Washington 2026 Defend the Vote March on August 28th. I will be out of the country. That will mark the 63rd anniversary of the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. And obviously that's the march, or the March on Washington when Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. So organizers said they hope to use the event to pressure lawmakers and rally a response to the erosion of voting protections. So let me tell you, I'm going to use the same thing that I said at the start of the show. If you're African American and you are right now struggling to put food on the table, you've got one, maybe two kids home from school because it's summertime. You've got to put gas in the car to get them to dance lessons, gymnastics, dentists, sleepovers, pools, whatever it is. You're still working. You still have to feed them. They're home all day. So that's extra money you're spending in the summertime because they're home all day and they're eating. If they're 7, 8, 9 years old, they're just eating all day. You parents know what I'm talking about. They're running up and down. It's in the hot sun. They run inside. They eat. They run back outside. They come back inside, and they're just eating. It seems like they're just scoffing the food down, which costs money. And if you're struggling as an African American right now, before I was talking to Republicans that no one cares about the 2020 election, stolen election, no one cares. It's the same reason on the other side. If you're African American, you know you can vote. You just voted. If you're here in Georgia, you just voted for Keisha Lance Bottoms or Jason Estevez or Michael Thurman. You just voted down ticket for Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. You just voted for Mo Ivory for Fulton County Commissioner in Fulton County. So if you're struggling this march on Washington to protect voting rights, you're saying, no, I want you to make it easier for me to raise a family. No one cares because they just voted. And it wasn't hard. There are no cops. Everyone checked ID. They all had ID because they're driving. They go to banks. They fly. Then it wasn't hard. They were in and out. Here in Georgia, the Republicans met for a special session and didn't draw a map. No one cares. And this is where I want to talk to both sides. I started the show with the stolen election talk. No one cares. Now I'm talking to the civil rights leaders that are planning a march on Washington 2026, defend the vote. If you're struggling economically, and by all accounts, people everywhere are struggling economically, no one cares because they just voted. And they know they can vote. So this idea that you're manufacturing, that everyone's losing their right to vote, they're looking at you saying, huh? What are you talking about? I just voted. And it was easy. What I need you to do, this is what they're going to say to civil rights activists and all the politicians, because every Democrat politician is going to speak at it. What the people are going to tell them is, I need you to help me bringing prices down. I need you not to support a war to drive gas prices up. They may even say, hey, I need you to fight the Republicans on this issue, flock cameras, or immigration reform, or whatever it is. But voting, no one cares. It's not a problem. You're making it up in order to have a march. And that's what the voters on that side are going to say. I know they're going to say it because I see them. I talk to them. No one on my timeline that's a Democrat, that's African American, is talking about voting because they just voted. And it was easy. No one's talking about it. Just like on the other side, when President Trump speaks on Thursday, when he brings up stolen election of 2020, no one cares. Yes, there's going to be a handful of people that on both sides. But the vast number of people across the country right now, they know they're not losing the voting franchise. They know they're not losing power. They know they're not losing anything. They know this is a made-up situation by the civil rights leaders. And they also know on the other side, the many people in the middle, the moderates in the middle, they're saying it's a made-up controversy on the other side. Stolen election 2020. All the voters on both sides right now, they could come together and they're all saying the same thing. Please, Democrats, please, civil rights leaders, please, Republicans, focus on us. Focus on our needs. Focus on making our lives easier. That's what they're all saying. But no, nobody wants to do that. Everyone wants to have a march on Washington on August 28th, defend the vote. The other side, they want to talk about stolen election 2020. And the rest of us get to sit in quiet and silence while all the loud people get what they want. And all of us, the vast majority in the center left, center right, get to sit here and say, what about us? It's the Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We'll be right back.